Hey, what's good, everyone? It's South Stretford Post. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone is doing good. Hope everyone is recovered from yesterday. I mean, you know what? I'm lost for words these days. You know what? It's really rare that I am lost for words. But these days, I'm just lost for words. I don't know what to say anymore. You know, at the end of the day, I'm tired of these type of performances. I think these type of performances have been going on now for like 11 years. You know, as soon as we think we're back in it, you know what? We end up losing a game that we should win, of course, guys. So at the end of the day, I'm fed up with these kind of things, these kind of losses, you know, these 3-0s, these 4-1s, these 5-0s, these 6-1s. These things shouldn't be happening at Man United anymore. But the thing is, there's a lot big blame game going on in the Man United fan base. And the Man United fan base now blaming Ten Hag for the signings he's made. I mean, if we're being real, Eric Ten Hag has signed some good players. I mean, Mazraoui, Ugarte, you know, are Ten Hag signings. You know, and then you look at De Ligt is a Ten Hag signing. At the end of the day, so, you know what? We can throw the blame game all we want. We tried everything. At the end of the day, we've thrown the kitchen sink at this. The one thing I would say is that Man United now, what we need to do, and our priority is to actually just start again. And that means getting rid of 90% of that squad, even if it is players that we like. I don't think Bruno is a decent captain. I really don't. Bruno's not the guy to take you forward. Bruno's not the one who's going to take you in. I would like in the trenches with me. If I was in the trenches, I wouldn't want Bruno next to me. Honest to God. You know, he's the type of person who would take your gun, you know, at the end of the day. And then we got Dalot, you know, and then we got, you know, who's absolutely one of the worst right wing backs I've ever seen in my life recently. You know, we just need to really move on from these type of players. And, you know, I'm tired of it now. Malacia is obviously not good enough. I did say that Malacia is not good enough. He's not good enough. But one thing I would say is this, guys. We always expected this. We knew this was going to happen. Ruben Amorim warned us this was going to happen. There's going to be some pain to get to where we're going to want to go. It's not going to be an overnight fix. We have to obviously be patient. We cannot overreact. But we do call out certain players because those players are absolute jokers at the end of the day. No team should be losing 3-0 at home to Bournemouth, regardless how good Bournemouth have been this season. Bournemouth drew West Ham the other week, you know. No one should be, you know, at the end of the day, losing 3-0 to Bournemouth. Not a Man United team at Old Trafford. Not in my lifetime. Now we've lost 3-0 twice to Bournemouth at Old Trafford. And it is a bit weird, isn't it? When you think about it, what is really going on at this football club? What is really going on? And you know what? I think there's fundamental issues at the football club that need to be addressed. I think there's fitness issues, application issues, talent issues, you know, and to be honest with you, are some of these players overrated? Now, look, you know what? I'm not going to absolutely individualize it because it isn't just about Marcus Rashford. It's a number of people. It's a number of players. Getting rid of Marcus Rashford is just a start. There's a lot of things that need to be done at this football club, and including players that we actually like, you know, that shouldn't be playing for the football club anymore. Players like Bruno, you know, I mean, loads of people have been raving mad about Bruno. Bruno's not going to take you to where you need to go, guys. Now, let me give you an example. People say, how comes Bruno plays so well for Portugal when he plays for Portugal? Because he plays the likes of Luxembourg and Estonia and Belarus. That's why. When it comes up against the quarterfinals and the semi-finals and the European Championships, where is he? Explain to me, where is he? He's nowhere to be seen. Just like when Man United need him, he's nowhere to be seen. We need to obviously move on from these type of people. He's not a captain. He's not only one. Maguire needs to go. Maguire just confirmed why he needs to go yesterday. There were many reasons why. Yesterday, he was one of the, obviously, worst players. You know, I don't think he was absolutely atrocious, but he wasn't very authoritative. Onana is not the goalkeeper to take you forward. He's not. We need a more composed, more calm goalkeeper who doesn't just hoof it up the field when, you know what, he panics. That is one thing I would say. Let's read some of your comments real quickly. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're good. I just got bantered at the office. Mate, you know what? At the end of the day, thank God I'm not working in an office or anything like that these days, because at the end of the day, I would get well and truly bantered. But these days, luckily, I don't. So, you know what? I did have it in the past, but Man United have been poor for 11 years. So, you know what? I've had a lot of banter myself over the last 11 years about Man United. People getting their revenge of the 26 years of dominance from Alex Ferguson, of course. So, you know what? I know how it feels, Sanjay. You know what? Hold in there. We will have our time. It will turn around. But one thing we have to do, we have to be really, really calm, and we have to be measured in the way we're thinking, in the way we're, criticizing, because at the end of the day, you know what, this is not going to be an overnight fix. Rome weren't built in a day. I know we've heard that loads of times in the past, but it's true. At the end of the day, we have to wait, and we have to wait and see when Ruben Amorim has his own team in there. At the moment, he's taken charge of Man United midway through the season, trying to implement a unique style of football that none of these players really are good at. They really don't know, and maybe don't match that type of football. Square pegs in round holes again, isn't it? And also, none of these players are his, and he doesn't know any of these players. And that is one thing we have to understand. Until he gets the tools, the keys to get rid of a number of those players. And I'm talking about a bunch of players here. I'm talking about a large amount of players that need to leave this football club this summer. A large, even in January. Some of these players just need to go, and Man United need to build again. Just restart it. There's problems everywhere at the football club. These performances on the football pitch are becoming too regular. Losing 3-0 to Bournemouth, who does that? Not even Burnley do them type of things. Do you know what I mean? Losing to Bournemouth is ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? No Man United team in my life should lose 3-0 to Bournemouth at home, regardless how well they're playing. You can lose the odd game 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. You know what I mean? But you understand that the game was close, and you know what? We could have won the game, or we had chances. But this game, even when we went 2-0 down, 3-0 down, I didn't see any, urgency. I didn't see any will to get back into the game, any passion to get back into the game. I didn't see it. And that was the biggest concern for me, in my opinion. Big up, Pearl. How you doing? I hope you're doing well from Singapore. Big up, everyone, of course. Big up, Pearl, of course. The whole scenario is too much embarrassing. I mean, what is going on behind the scenes? These players, absolute PTSD. I mean, at the end of the day, Pearl, look, you know what I would say is that I feel sorry for Ruben Amorim, because I knew this was a difficult job for him anyway. I knew when he comes in, it's going to absolutely destroy him, because at the end of the day, people do underestimate the task at Man United. The job at hand at Man United is absolutely impossible sometimes, and it's going to take a while. One thing I'll say about Ruben Amorim, as a young manager at 39, I do feel for him. I feel sorry for him. Some of the fan base as well, they're just too much. They go over the top. We have people threatening Ineos outside Old Trafford, things like that. Do you know what I mean? What has this got to do with that? You know what I mean? At the end, what's going on the pitch has nothing to do with what Ineos have been doing, nothing to do with them at the end of the day. These players should be good enough to defeat Bournemouth. I'm saying it like this. They should be good enough to defeat Bournemouth. The likes of Maguire, the likes of, Mazraoui, the likes of Ugarte and Rasmus and Bruno and Ahmad. These players should be good enough to defeat Bournemouth at the end of the day. Look, you know what, Bournemouth, every single one of those players who walk into that Bournemouth team, and that is what it is. Xerxes costs more than any Bournemouth player have ever signed. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing we would say about that. You can only count on one hand how many players of that Bournemouth team are actually, good enough to play for Man United. But then again, I bring it to this. It's about a team, isn't it? And Man United are not a team. And we're a bunch of individuals. And this is basically stemming from above, and in regards to the captain, Bruno Fernandes, for me, he's not a captain. He's not. When the going gets tough, he's nowhere to be seen. He goes missing, in my opinion, and he's not there. He doesn't fill you with confidence. He doesn't fill you with belief. Like Roy Keane used to do, taking us out of a bad situation, getting us into the next round of the Champions League sort of performances. Bruno's not that guy. He's not. And to be honest with you, I'm edging towards one of our worst captains in history. I am. I'm sorry. And this is the way it's going for me at the moment. I'm feeling this way, of course. Big up, everyone. Yale, how you doing, my friend? Yale, look at the game stats, and it's almost really confusing that we had 75% shot and we lost. Had double the chances almost. Yeah, you know what? I remember, Yale. Let me give you an example, Yale. Back 20 years ago, Arsenal used to do the same. Arsenal used to have the same sort of patterns of play. They used to have, like, 70% possession, but they didn't threaten. They didn't score. Man United never looked likely to threaten Bournemouth yesterday. As much as possession as we had, there were no clear-cut opportunities for Man United. I'm talking about goal-scoring opportunities. You could talk about shots until the cows come home. At the end of the day, Man United are not creating great chances. Like, he should score. We're getting into positions, and then our final ball is rubbish. Bruno had 2 good chances, granted, he did, and he missed both of them, of course. And to be honest with you, it's got improved. It's got improved because at the moment we're playing possession, and this is good, guys. Let me say something. That is a positive, right? Man United have all the possession. That's a start. Man United over the last couple of years haven't had possession. They've been dominated. So now Man United has started to get more possession. Now this is where things start to build, isn't it? Now Ruben Amorim is going to start building his team, and start building the way we play. He needs his own players in there. He really does. Look, not all of those players are going to leave. Lots of those players will stay. I mean, I say Ahmad needs to stay. Ugarte needs to stay. Mainu needs to stay. Højlund needs to stay. Garnacho needs to stay. These are 5 young players, right? These are the type of players that we need to keep and we need to develop. Euro needs to stay, but obviously De Ligt needs to stay. Mazraoui's been brilliant. He needs to stay. And then we're looking at the others, and we're like, are these guys actually that good? Are they that good? Should we keep them? Should we move them on, etc., etc.? And that's where you get to, like, the rest of them need to go. The rest of them do need to go. And you know what? You're looking at a number of players there that I don't think are good enough, of course. Yale, first goal, Xerxes could not win the header. Absolutely. Maz calls the pen. Martinez fought in the third goal. Maguire was okay. And I'll get into my player ratings in a minute, but he's just not 32. I just don't think he's the guy to take us forward. I think we need someone different, someone more domineering. I mean, we missed De Ligt yesterday. If De Ligt was in that centre-back, probably we wouldn't have conceded that many goals. But one thing I would say is that the header from Xerxes was disgraceful. I mean, not even challenging for the free kick. I mean, but the problem I'm having at the moment, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, is the zonal marking. I mean, Man United are not doing it well. Maybe we should go back to basics and maybe just mark your man. Maybe we should do that, because at the moment, the zonal marking is causing all sorts of problems. We're conceding goal after goal after goal from corners. We had 2 against Arsenal. We had 1 yesterday against Bournemouth. You know what I mean? And we had 1 against, who was the other game? Bodo Glimt. We had 1 against Bodo Glimt, and we also had 1 against Nottingham Forest as well. These things need to stop. Man United need to work on these set pieces. I don't know whether we need to change our set piece coach or whoever Gigi's our coaching. I don't know whether we need to do that, or we need to just change the way we approach corners and free kicks. Maybe that's one thing we do. Offensive and offensive, because at the moment, offensively and offensively, we're not good enough at set pieces. Man United won a treble on set pieces, and I cannot stress how important set pieces are, and we're not doing them well. And Bruno cannot take set pieces. One thing I would say is that Ahmad was taking some very, very good corners. Our corners are better. It looks like Ahmad is going to be taking some of our corners in the future. He did get it into the danger area. I was impressed with Ahmad and his corners. Although I do think the free kicks from Bruno, especially that one in a dangerous area, I think it was outside the D, when he just hit it at the wall, and it was absolutely rubbish, to be honest with you. We got to do better in those situations, of course. Goals for George. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Amorim needs to be very careful, as a club is unique in saying one thing and doing another thing. 2-3 more loss at Old Trafford, and the fans and hard haters will turn on him. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the thing. Goals for George. At the end of the day, we have a very impatient fan base. And at the end of the day, we have to understand that we are Manchester United and results are important. And if Man United keep losing games, people are going to turn. Look, I won't. I do believe that this is going to take time. I do believe that he needs his own players in there. I think we have to judge him after he's got a couple of transfer windows. He only have 1 transfer window, guys. We have to remember that, don't we? These are not his players at the end of the day. It's difficult for him on his first season to do, implement what he needs to implement. But you know what? Once he's had a year and a couple of transfer windows, if we're still in the same position, then you're going to have to ask questions. I firmly believe that he's a great manager. I think he will get it right, but he needs to have the power to get rid of some of these players that have been there stinking the place out for like 11 years now. Do you know what I mean? I'm tired of it, to be honest. I'm tired of Man United losing like this. I mean, I wasn't raised on Man United losing like this. 3-0 here, 4-1 there, 6-1 there. For 3, at the end of the day, I wasn't like that. It used to be a rarity when Man United used to lose, but nowadays it seems like a kind of expected thing. deep down in our soul, when we think about Man United against Bournemouth, we really wanted Man United to win the game. We thought Man United could win the game, but deep down, if we thought about it, we're thinking, you know what, Bournemouth are going to give us some problems, and we shouldn't be thinking like that, should we? We should be like, Bournemouth, Old Trafford. Bournemouth should lose the game before they even walk out of Old Trafford. Old Trafford should be a fortress. Old Trafford is not a fortress anymore. It seems like teams look forward to going to Old Trafford now. Do you know what I mean? When back in the day, they used to be like, you know what? Oh, good. Might as well cross that one off the list. We're going to lose that one. It used to be like that, didn't it? Absolutely, absolutely. Yale, we will lose the next 3 games, actually. My goodness me, Yale. Let me have a look at Man United have got coming up, guys. Let me just have a look so I can see what is capable and what is not. At the moment, I mean, we're 13th in the league, guys. 10 points. Goodness me, it's terrible, isn't it? But let's have a look at this. Man United have got coming up. We've got Wolverhampton Wanderers on Thursday, guys, in the league. So that is going to be Boxing Day. We got Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then we got Newcastle at Old Trafford, right? After that, it gets difficult, guys. We got Liverpool away in the league, and then we got Arsenal in the FA Cup after that. Then we got Southampton at home, which should be a win. It doesn't get any easier for Man United, and January is one of them. I mean, now this is when I said against Tottenham Hotspur when we lost in the League Cup, we don't need this League Cup semi-final, because we would have played Liverpool another couple of times, as well as playing them once at Anfield. Liverpool on fire. It pains me to say it, guys, but Liverpool are the representation of what it should be. Man United should be. You know what I mean? Which is winning games like they did against Tottenham. Look at Tottenham. Look what they did to Tottenham. 6-3. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, come on. You know, at the end of the day, Mohamed Salah, we know he's a generational. I think he should be Ballon d'Or. We know that at the end of the day. But you know what? At the end of the day, Man United shouldn't be losing to that Tottenham side. And we did. You know, at the end of the day. And not only lose, we actually lost badly, lost conceding stupid goals. Do you know what I mean? And that is one thing that bothers me. Yali, Wolves got a manager bounce. Newcastle are better than us doing it. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, Yale. You know what? Everything can equal itself out. The biggest thing I would say, Yale, is Ruben Amorim needs to make some serious decisions in regards to the team, in regards to his selection, his lineup. He needs to make some really important decisions going forward. Is Dalot the guy? Is Bruno the guy? Are they the guys to take us forward? Is Maguire the guy to take us forward? You know, are these players good enough? Is Malacia good enough to take us forward? You know, are these players really good enough? You're going to have to start doubting it, isn't it? You're going to have to start saying, now, listen to this, right? Players are not playing well, despite we like the players, whatever. We like these players. These players are good. I like them. I like Dalot. I like, Anthony. I like this player. I like that player. But are they really good enough? Are they really? When you're down in the trenches, would you look at them to take you out? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and help you. It just looks like bad, doesn't it? Irfan, good morning, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're good. I'm good. Going to say, with a lot of respect, this loss is on Amorim. The moment I saw the player selection, my heart sunk. He tried to fix it in halftime. Irfan, one thing I would say is that, you know what, he got it wrong yesterday, and I agree, Irfan. The substitution was poor. And to be honest with you, we couldn't blame it on Maguire's selection, because obviously De Ligt is ill, so he couldn't play. But it wasn't just him. The players are not good enough. They're not. And to be honest with you, and our captain is not good enough as a captain. When the going gets tough, he's nowhere to be seen. He's gone. He's missing. He didn't play badly yesterday, but he's not a captain. He's not a Roy Keane, that's for sure. We got right wing back, left wing back crap again. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, there's nothing going on in regards to overlapping runs and things like that. Nothing going on in regards to the players and the team. Ruben Amorim doesn't become a bad manager overnight. Neither does Eric Ten Hag become a bad manager overnight. None of these managers are bad managers. They're actually the most highest rated managers in Europe at the time. You know, we got to start looking at what the true problem is, because I'm tired of it. To be honest, I'm tired of Man United losing like this. Not only losing, but not having any effort to try and get back into the game. When we get to 2-0 down, 3-0 down, nothing, and that's one thing I am very concerned about, because when a team goes 3-0 down, even if Bournemouth went 3-0 down against Man United at the Vitality Stadium, you know what, Bournemouth would have threatened the goal and tried to get a goal, and they would have had chances. You know, we didn't even have that yesterday, and that is what really concerned me, if I'm being totally honest, Irfan. I'm concerned. I'm disillusioned. you know, and I'm fed up with these type of performances. At the moment, I'm like, what are we doing? You know, where do we go from here? How do we do this? How do we fix this? It's not changing the manager anymore because we've been down that road. You know, what is the true problem of Manchester United? You know, Rashford is one problem. Rashford is out the door. So look, Rashford is gone. Now, what's the next problem? There's so many problems at Man United, you know, at the moment. Fam, half our team are development players, not established players. That's one of our problems. One thing I would say is that we have a team void of winning mentality. None of these players have won anything at Manchester United of significance. I mean, FA Cups and League Cups, okay. But when you get to Premier League challenging, when you get to Champions League qualifying and getting into the latter stages of the Champions League, none of these players are at it. They're not got it. They've not got it. They're not on that level. None of these players. And at the moment, you can rely on Garnacho and Højlund and Ahmad, but we have to be realistic here. And Kobe Mainoo. We have to be realistic here that these players are young, and you know what? They shouldn't be thrown into the deep end straight away. They should be nurtured into the team. But who else are we going to play? This is when it gets to it. We got Casemiro, our highest earner, 350 grand a week, sitting on the bench, or sometimes not even in the squad. So what's going on with that? Do you know what I mean? I mean, me and obviously Elite Baller, when we came on this channel a few weeks ago, we've been talking about the double pivot of Ugarte and Casemiro. I do believe it should be Ugarte and Casemiro for the time being. If we're going to play Kobe Mainoo, we should play him further up the pitch, not in that number 8 position, because I don't think he's quite got it at the moment. He's 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. So we can't blame him too much. Of course we can't. But look, it's not just him. There's a number of players there that, you know what, I just feel like it's looking bleak. And I'm not going to blame Ruben Amorim completely. I'm not. And one thing I would criticize Ruben Amorim, though, is that he needs to get his best lineup. He needs to get it quick, because now we're in nearly a month into his tenure, right? And we've had some terrible results. I mean, look, you can lose to the likes of Tottenham. You can lose to the likes of, look, we beat City, right? Great. But I would much rather us, you know what, beat the likes of Brighton and Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, you know what I mean, in sacrifice of one game against City. You know what I mean? It's the bread and butter that determines what type of team you are, the teams that you're supposed to beat. Alex Ferguson did it perfectly. The teams that you're supposed to beat, you beat comfortably. And that is how you move up the table. Look, Crystal Palace, we drew 2 points. Brighton, we lost 3 points. That's 5 points already, guys, right? Nottingham Forest, 3 points, right? That's 8 points already, all right? Bournemouth, 3 points. That's 12. That's 11 points, guys. 11 points. 11 points. Now, if you won those bread and butter games that we're supposed to win, and you look at the end of the day, that the bread and butter games that we're supposed to win, if you look at it, all right, let me have a look at the Premier League table. So let's look at the Premier League table. So if you add 11 points on Man United's tally right now, Man United will be fourth place. Full third place with games we're supposed to just with the games that we should be winning. Do you know what I mean? We have too many. We have a young team, but you know what? It's not the young players that are the problem, Yale. It's not. It's the experienced players that are the problem here. Dalot's been there 5 years. He's been poor all season. It's been crap. And let's be honest, guys. I come from a day of Gary Neville, Dennis Irwin, Patrice Evra. I come from them days. You know what I mean? It's been crap. I'm sorry. Bruno, it's been crap overall. It's crap. And these are an experience. I'm never going to blame the young players, because at the end of the day, when the class of 92 came through at Manchester United, they looked to their left, they saw Roy Keane. They looked to their right, they saw Ryan Giggs. They looked up front, they saw Andy Cole. They looked behind them, they saw Steve Bruce and Peter Schmeichel further back. They looked to their left again, they saw Dennis Irwin. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, who are they going to look at? These young players. Who are they going to look at? Bruno, what have you won for Man United? What have you done significant for Man United? Nothing. Dalot, mate, you know what I mean? I mean, I can give you a whole dossier of AC Milan reports about Dalot, how poor he was. At the end of the day, look, we do not have a team that has a winning habit. It's a winning habit that we don't have. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the Maguires of this world shouldn't be playing for Man United anymore. We have to be ruthless. Malacia is obviously not good enough as well. And you know what? Those players haven't been at the club long enough for me to actually criticize them in a way. You know what I mean? But I would say that they're not good enough. Right now, they're not good enough. You know, Ahmad, Mainoo, Højlund, Garnacho shouldn't be starting for Man United every single week. They shouldn't be. They're not good enough. As much as people crying out, Ahmad, guys, he's a young lad. We need to bring him in and we have to be patient with him. And if he wants to play, he's going to have to be patient. He's going to have to be patient if he wants to play, of course. I said Brendan Maguire is not a Premier League player, or 1 or 2 steady games don't make him a good. He's not good enough anyway, mate. He's not. At the end of the day, you know what? Man United need to knock off a new contract. I'd be devastated. I'd be absolutely, you know what I mean, disillusioned if we do off there. The defense coaches need to be fired. Absolutely, fan. We do not know what to do with the ball. There's no football IQ, and that hurts. Absolute fan. The thing is, when we get to the ball, like we get the ball, we're very, very indecisive with the ball. We're not 2 steps ahead like we used to be. We used to be 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. Paul Scholes famously was 3, 4 steps ahead on passing the ball. Nowadays, we get the ball, we stand still, and we're looking around, and we're like, what's going on? What's going on? Where shall I pass it? We're like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the problem is, you know? We're not a unit. You know, we're not a unit. We're not a team. We don't play as a team. How comes Bournemouth can rock up at Old Trafford and play that way? Everyone to a T knew exactly what they were doing. Do you know what I mean? Exactly what they were doing. And to be honest with you, Bournemouth, what players have they got? Kirkes, Evan Nilsson, you know what I mean? Clivert has been a flop everywhere he's been, apart from Bournemouth. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, you know what? At the end of the day, he's a pound lamb Patrick Clivert. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And the thing is like, you know, what is going on there? Why are Bournemouth like this? Why are Bournemouth better than us? Why is their application? Not just about talent, guys. It's not just about talent. Application, effort, you know, effort. And believing in the philosophy of what the manager is bringing to the team. He's a brilliant manager. He's done fantastically well at Bournemouth. Honestly, I like this manager. But you know what? Why do they do the simple things correctly? You know, why have they got more effort than us? What is going on there? That is one thing I want to say. Johnny, good morning. How you doing, my friend? The racing section Old Trafford fans are full of swing yesterday on X. They found their new scapegoat in Mainu. Even few were agreeing with the guy who said Mainu was academy player. Mate, guys, this is where we get into dangerous territory, Johnny. You know, at the end of the day, Kobe Mainu is 19 years old. Has been thrown into that Manchester United team, right? Playing every single game last season and for England, right? And you know, people are jumping on Kobe Mainu. Is that their scapegoat? Is Kobe Mainu their scapegoat? So why don't they look at the players that have been in their years down tooling? Why don't they look at the players that, you know what, have been stinking out the place for the last 11 years? Why don't they do that? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, we got Luke Shaw sitting on the bench doing absolutely F all. You know what I mean? Earning a packet all his flipping career. You know what I mean? That's all I see. Harry Maguire slipping up all over the place like a Bambi on ice yesterday. That's all I saw. I saw Bruno doing nothing, playing long balls again. You know what I mean? I'm getting the players into. Look, at the end of the day, look, we have to look after our young players, and we need to stop jumping on our young players, regardless of culture, race, everything. I'm talking about everything through the board, right? Because this happens both ways, right? There is this problem at Man United. There is, and I have to admit, there is this problem at Man United. And it's not only one way, it's both ways. It's both ways, right? This is why they attack Garnacho so much as well. It is both ways. There is a section that are racist towards one person and towards another person as well. So this fundamental problems at Man United stem deep. They stem deep. There's a big issue about Man United, about the way we are as a football club. This didn't used to be like this back in the day. You know, we were a family club. We didn't care who scored a goal. We didn't care where the player was from. We didn't care about his race. We were, you know, a proper football club. Nowadays, we got toxicity. We got too many people. And it's not just white and black. It's not, guys. It's both, right? At the end of the day, it's both of them, to be honest. And to be honest with you, they are both doing it. There are fan channels who talk more about culture than the football club. And that is what gets a problem at the football club. That's what stirs hatred and toxicity. Because at the end of the day, we are one. We are red. We are red. We are Manchester United. And that's how Manchester United should always be. Manchester United are red. We wear that shirt. We wear that badge with pride. That's what we are. It shouldn't matter where you're from. It shouldn't matter where your skin color is. It shouldn't matter. It's all about Manchester United. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? There are people jumping in. Not only Kobe Mainu. Not only Kobe Mainu. Look, I will tell you like this. Luke Shaw's had death threats. Maguire's had bomb threats. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it does go around, right? It's just that things are getting highlighted. I would say is that Kobe Mainoo, as a Manchester United fan, you never attack your young players. You never attack your young players. You never. And to be honest with you, Kobe Mainoo was a shining light last season. Probably our player of the season. Wasn't he our young player of the season? Future England international. I personally believe, in my opinion, he's not a number 8. I think he should play further up the field. I think he'll be... Yeah, to be honest with you, I think he'd be brilliant behind the striker, if I'm being honest. I think he'd be brilliant behind the striker. Sonny, Generation 10 is struggling in Amarim tactics, seems lost manning the midfield. At the end of the day, look, Sonny, the thing is that we're not going to blame the young players. I'm looking more towards my captain, right? I'm looking more towards the captain of the football team because he's the engine, right? He's not the guy, you know, your 19, 20-year-old Mainoo, he did okay yesterday, I felt. You know what I mean? He's the guy who's been there, like, you know what, since 2017, the guy who, you know what, is supposed to be Magnifico, who keeps kicking the ball upfield and not doing his job properly as a captain and influencing these young players, inspiring these young players. Where is him? Where is he? Where is he? You know what I mean? We can talk about young players until the cows come home. We could talk about Garnacho. We could talk about Ahmad. We could talk about Mainoo. They are not the problems at Man United. They're actually the future of Manchester United. The problem is that we have players there who've been there for many, many years, stinking out the place, doing the same thing again and again and again. At Manchester United, we do not attack young players, right? These players are not rubbish. These players are generational, and we need to nurture them. We don't bring them down. The problem is we have uninspirational players in our team that are captains, that are not doing anything to inspire these players, to help these players, to give these players confidence when their chips are down. And that is my main concern. Yale. Only good thing, Rashford was not part of the squad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rashford is a start. Rashford, I know, you know, at the end of the day, Rashford, people are going to start saying, oh, if Rashford was in the team, Man United would have won. Guys, Rashford was one problem, and we got rid of one problem, okay? Not yet got rid of, but it will be gone. We have a number of other players at Man United that are a problem. Do you know what I mean? A big problem at Man United. And a number of these players need to leave this football club, you know what I mean, in the summer. Absolutely. Guys, let me just read through some stuff for you guys real quickly, if you don't mind. In regards to Ruben Amorim talking yesterday, of course, let me just get this up. Right. It's really hard, especially if you saw the game. Let me just clear this off real quickly. Here we go. It's really hard, especially if you saw the game. We conceded one foul and then the goal. We were winning second balls and creating chances. We conceded the penalty and then the third goal. It was really hard for the fans. We have to go again next game. We've heard that before, haven't we? Go again. We have to focus on the job and not what you feel in the stadium. It's the only way I know how to focus my players. We have to suffer again, but we will try to win. We will do it until the end. Absolutely. And one thing about this, he did mention this in his first press conference, that we will suffer. There will be moments of suffering, guys. There will be. And the thing is, it's like it depends how we react to that suffering, of course, and we will improve eventually going down. After the penalty, we need to control the game better because we know this situation is really hard. We have to control better this moment. Yes. The problem with Manchester United right now is that when the chips are down, we collapse, we lose control of the game, and you know what, we don't get back into the game. It's like we give up straight away, and this is a problem at Man United at the moment. If you look at the game, we were not conceding anything before the first goal. We had opportunities. If we managed to score, if we managed to score the first goal, then the game should be different. We want to score, but we are too nervous. We have to fight this. Yep. Nervousness, you know what I mean, at Man United. You know what I mean? Playing for Man United. This is what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Nervousness. Goodness me. It's hard. In this context, it's hard to push for 2 or 3 wins. We're trying, but this game was hard on us. Without any situation, we suffered again at set pieces. We were a little bit nervous in the stadium. Mate, we got to overcome these nerves, though, guys. Survival of the fittest. You know, he who dares wins. Do you know what I mean? This is how it should be at Man United. Survival of the fittest, and he who dares wins. In regards to Lisandro Martinez has been talking, he said, It's football and we have to accept it. We are 100% confident that we will get success in this club. It's a process. I don't want to point the finger at one player. We win together, we lose together. It is a big pressure, but we love that. I believe a lot in this group. Okay, talk is cheap. We have to fix some things, especially on set pieces. We have to score the first goal. We are going to work on that. But it's not just about scoring the first goal, Leacher. It's about responding when you do concede a goal, because all teams concede sometimes. But what makes a great team is the teams that come back from it. They come back from it. You know what I mean? We have a very good coach and a very good group. It's unacceptable to lose, but we are here to change things. Said Leacher. Very disappointed. I think we're playing very well. We've had a lot of chances, but we were outscoring. I don't think we did have a lot of chances, to be honest, guys. I don't think we had created clear cut chances that I could say, yeah, we should have scored that. We had a couple from Bruno in the first half, maybe, you know what I mean? But I don't look at it and say, look, yeah, you know what, we should have scored, and from there we should have scored about 3 or 4 goals, like I have done in the past. Even this season, there's been a couple of games where I thought, you know what, United should have scored 4 or 5 goals. Do you know what I mean? When we look at the team, obviously rankings, guys, this is the rankings for my Twitter, for my Instagram, and my Facebook, guys. When you look at the lineup, Onana got a 4.6, not great. Again, not authoritative, very, very lethargic, indecisive, kept kicking long balls. Mazraoui got a 4.8, gave away a silly penalty. One of his worst games in a Man United shirt, probably. Gave away a silly penalty. He shouldn't have made the tackle. Didn't do well. Not his position, though. Not his best position on the right centre-back, of course. Maguire, 4.8. Poor. Again, you know what I mean? Not good for Maguire. Very clumsy and not authoritative. Didn't bring the ball up from the back. In this position, I expect him to bring that ball into midfield and coming out of that free to bring the ball into midfield. He didn't do that. Martinez, a 4.5. Very, very poor for Martinez again. Of course, was not helped by his left wing back, which was Malacia. Malacia got a 3.9 for me. And my community, of course, guys, got a 3.9. Very poor, very indecisive, didn't run forward, was giving away the ball too much, was rubbish. Ugarte was probably the best manager, the best player of the pitch. Of course, guys, Ugarte was the man of the match for me, in my opinion. Yesterday, it was the only one really doing anything that I felt that, you know what, resembled anything like a Manchester United player. Mainly got a 4.9. You know what, wasn't the worst player on the pitch, but had a poor game yesterday. It was very difficult for him, of course, especially when Ugarte went off, and I felt like Ugarte shouldn't have went off. I felt that that was the wrong decision going forward, in my opinion. Dalot, a 3.9 again, poor again. Slapping hands, passion merchant all day long. You know what? Didn't do anything going forward, didn't do anything going back. Was not a great helper. Mazraoui either. Just not working out for Dalot. We know what Dalot can do. It's not just about criticizing him. We know he's a decent player, but at the end of the day, we have to look at it realistically and ask ourselves, as Manchester United Manchester United fans, we've seen a lot better, and we need to get up to those levels again. Ahmad, 5.5, worked tirelessly, got the ball, a lot of huffing and puffing, but nothing special. Got to do better going forward as an attacking player. Bruno Fernandes, 5.2, did okay yesterday, but again, poor. Didn't get the team out of a situation, didn't influence the team, in my opinion, and just, quite frankly, not captain material, in my opinion. Xerxes, 5.0, didn't really do much in the game. To be honest, if you gave the ball away a lot, first goal, when the cross came in, didn't challenge for the header. That was disappointing, of course. You want to see a little bit of heart. You want to see a little bit of fight, don't you? We didn't see none of that yesterday, of course. When we look at the substitutions, guys, Lenny Yoro got 5.8 for me. Yeah, Lenny Yoro did okay when he came on, but obviously was in a difficult position when he came on, of course, guys. Rasmus Højlund got a 6, held up the ball pretty decently, and things improved when he came on. Not great, not perfect, but average. Things improved when he came on, as did Garnacho improve things when he came on. Things got a little bit more attacking, a bit more pace, a bit more urgency. That's what happened yesterday and when they came on. But nothing to write home about, nothing special in regards to that, if I'm being honest. If we look at Ruben Amorim, for me, probably one of his worst performances as a manager. 4.7. The substitution really killed the game in regards to removing Ugarte out of the team and really killed the game that time. And I feel like those are the changes that really measure you as a manager, and you get judged ultimately on those changes, of course, guys. And to be honest with you, a 4.7 which was disappointment for him. You know, disappointing, of course. Of course. Let's get through more of your comments, guys. Goals of George Xerxes, a waste of money. Let me have a look. Yali, one good thing. Yeah, I think I read that one. Big up, big up. Good morning, her fan. Liverpool are on course to 3 cup. I mean, Yali, you're the bearer of bad news, my bro. My goodness me, I can't even think about that at the moment. It's becoming a nightmare season, isn't it? When we're being honest with ourselves, it is really becoming a nightmare, isn't it? It's sad to see. It's sad to see. Irfan Malassi on the left and playing Mazraoui centre back, right wing back, and Amram's choice. It was the wrong choice, Irfan, and we have to hold it. You know what I mean? He has to hold it. One thing I would say is that he's experimenting, but you know what? In the Premier League, you can't experiment. I don't think he was the main problem. I think Dalot and those people was the main problem. We can't just bring in Mazraoui and not talk about Dalot, you know, who was shit again. And Bruno. So actually, what a waste of money. Yeah, telling me. The only luck Amram is enjoying now is that for the last 3 games, Rude at Leicester has lost. Rude was flying those fans, and media would start making comparisons. Fans leaving 60 minutes at Old Trafford is bad. Yeah, I saw the fans leaving at Old Trafford. Goals to George. Absolutely spot on, to be honest with you. I don't blame them, but me, myself, I never leave the stadium regardless what, you know, the score is. But it is a representation of where Man United are at the moment, guys. It is a reputation of that. Johnny. Irfan, tell me exactly what we do have brought on. I can only name 6 players in the entire squad. I mean, one thing I didn't like yesterday is that people blaming Erik ten Hag. Only 6 players of Erik ten Hag's signings played yesterday, right? And I would argue that Erik ten Hag's signings are the best signings, better signings, they're better players. And at the end of the day, it wasn't the Erik ten Hag signings that are the worst players on the pitch, in my opinion. Choco, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Anyone need to let Emma gut this squad? Absolutely. He left a good team playing Champions League football for a mediocre team with no spirit. Absolutely, Choco. They need to back him. This is their man. This is their man. So what they need to do, they need to back their man, of course. Absolutely. Gomez should be further up the pitch. I agree. And Casemiro must play with Ugarte. I agree. Spot on, Irfan. I know Amram is sourcing the team out, but you put your players in the best position. Irfan, salute, my brother. Absolutely correct. Salute. Johnny, by the way, if I played for United and had Bruno as a captain, I would fight him. Dude literally misses shot after shot, wasted chance of John. I mean, I don't think he's a captain. I'm sorry. I've made my opinion now with him. I don't think he's a guy to take us forward. I mean, maybe if we take the captaincy off him, he might be a better player like he was in the first season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But you know what? We have to criticize when we have to critique, don't we? At the end of the day, he hasn't been that guy. UK, Darren Fan, wingers need to be wing backs or at least one Dalot and Malacia give you nothing going forward. This is the problem under UK underrated fan, Darren, what are the main characteristics of the teams that won things at Man United, right? I know I'm taking it back, but what are the main characteristics? Overlapping runs. Nowadays, we don't have any overlapping runs, whether that's Dennis Irwin, whether that's Gary Neville, whether that's Patrice Evra, even Wes Brown back in the day. You know what I mean? We always had overlapping runs. Even when you had Gabriel Heinze playing for Man United, even when you had Bent Butner playing for Man United, they were overlapping. Nowadays, none of these players are overlapping for love nor money. And this is the problem. And when you don't overlap, you don't create spaces. They're not working hard enough. They're not doing enough. They look lethargic. They look slow. And this is a big concern for me going forward, of course. The change he made at halftime, Johnny, Casemiro and Højlund, that's it. 2 changes that could have changed the complex of the game. I think the changes were wrong. Fan, I agree. Johnny, Sal, you're exactly right. Mainu is 19 and they are scapegoating him. Some people refuse to say anything about Bruno Dalot. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And for whatever sinister reason it is, we got to stop doing this to our young players because at the end of the day, Mainu, Ahmad, these are our future. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I've said it and I back up Garnacho. I back up Garnacho week in, week out. And the reason I do that is because young players will always be notoriously inconsistent. This is the way young players play. They're inconsistent. This is the way they are. Young players will always be inconsistent. And that is the issue. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And to be honest with you, we cannot jump on young players, regardless who they are. You know what I mean? But I know there is a sinister bunch, but they're on both sides. Do you know what I mean? They're on both sides of the spectrum, right? But never jump on your young players, especially someone like Kobe Mainu, who's available at least. We got Luke Shaw sitting at home, having a cup of cocoa, watching football. Do you know what I mean? We need to start looking at those mercenaries, who, you know what I mean, who get a Mason Mount, get a little scratch, and he's out for weeks. What about him? Do you know what I mean? This is why we need to we're getting into dangerous territory. When we start targeting Mainu, when we start targeting Ahmad, you know what I mean? It starts to get to dangerous territory, doesn't it? It's not good. Even Jamie Jackson did it. It made a post. Jamie Jackson's I say nothing. I mean, I'll get myself in trouble if I say that. I feel sorry for Bruno. I'm not going to lie. He's good, but for too many years, he's been surrounded by poor players. Messi would have developed to be. I mean, I would argue that Bruno, he flops in big games. And I would give you evidence of that at Portugal as well. He's not the guy to take you out of the trenches. He's just not that guy. And you're talking about a guy who know his family, me, right? Even they saying that he's not playing good. And to be honest with you, name one game in a quarterfinal, a semi-final, a final for Portugal that he's actually showed up. You know, I just don't think he's a captain. I think we need to take the captain's armband off him. People see Bruno put in effort and they think he's good. By the way, Fred McTominay, I mean, what would you do with Fred McTominay now? You know, at the end of the day, of course, what would you do with them lot now? Big up, Garrett. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Big up, big up, big up, of course. Dylan, good to see you, mate. Amarim got it wrong yesterday. Cass and Ugarte should be the two. I agree. Should be playing at the back. Absolutely, I agree, Dylan. It should be a double pivot of Ugarte and Casemiro. Mainu should be coming off the bench and developed into the team, in my opinion. But I'm not going to jump on the young players. Obviously, at least they're available is one thing I would say, of course. At least they're available, of course, guys. Absolutely. That's one thing I would say. Guys, you know what? We all have the answers. You know, to be honest with you, we can all sit here and wax lyrical about certain players and say that this player is not good enough, say that this player is good enough. But you know what? If we all had the answers, you know what, we would be successful at the end of the day. We don't. The thing is that these sort of results have been going on for 11 years now. And I can give you example after example after example of these type of results, you know, and it's embarrassing, you know, against a team like Bournemouth, who's beaten us. I mean, when I was growing up, Bournemouth were in the 3rd division, you know what I mean? And, you know, when I look at this, then again, Brighton were as well, but when I look at this, right, I can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm just looking at it and saying, you know what, with these players, you know, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I just can't see them changing, to be honest. I don't feel sorry for any players. I don't. Honestly, you're wearing the badge for Manchester United. People sacrificed themselves for that badge. You know what I mean? People died for that badge. I don't want you feeling sorry for yourself. I want you to go out there and show it. Great players show themselves in any team. I can give you examples of any team in the world where great players have shown themselves. You can go on and on. I could talk about Romania in the 90s, Georgi Hagi. I could talk about Bulgaria, Hristo Stoichkov, you know, who show themselves week in, week out. You know what I mean? Every time they play, they show themselves, you know, because they're world-class players. World-class players will always show themselves. World-class players will turn up. They will turn up. Always turn up when the chips are down. At the moment, I just feel like we don't have anyone when the chips are down who can turn up and who can change our fortunes. I mean, it's disappointing. I don't want to be talking like this. Amarin's beginning to sound like everything. Oh, after a while, talk does not matter, but performance and results, the players. I mean, scares me to go to George. You're scaring me, bruv. You're scaring me to go to George. You really are, of course. Really scare me. Really are. Big up Irfan, by the way. Big up Irfan. Irfan, it's not about what formation we play. Back 5-4-6-4, so we have poor players. I mean, Irfan, we have a poor team. We have a poor team because every single one of those players will walk into that Bournemouth team. You don't have players who play for the likes of Bayern Munich, Juventus, Argentina, Uruguay, PSG. If you're a poor player. I just feel like we don't have a team. That's it. We have a bunch of individuals that are just hell-bent on doing things themselves. Do you know what I mean? And trying to work something themselves and, you know, and trying to be the hero and with the hero balls and stuff like that. De Ligt, yeah, Irfan. It shows you how important De Ligt has been. What a signing De Ligt has been, by the way. Eric Ten Hag, by the way. Yeah, just to tell you guys, and just important how important De Ligt has been to the team. Know what I mean? There were 5 chances we should have scored. Yeah. Was Ugarte injured last night? And why was he taken? I don't know, Yale. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I'm getting to the bottom of that. Why he was taken off? Because to me, that was thrown in the towel. I believe he threw in the towel. When he took off Ugarte, I'm like, what is he doing there? Why? We need that pivot. You can't just leave Mainu on his own. I'm just beginning to... Yeah, I think I read that one. We looked thin up front. In midfield, we didn't play a unit. Malacia fluffed the freezer. I mean, the one thing we can say, guys, right, is that we can't really talk until Amram has his team. These are not his players, guys. You know what I mean? We can't really talk until he has his team in there. And he hasn't had one transfer window, guys. At the end of the day, how do you know he would have liked any of these players? If he was going in the transfer market, how would you know that these are the players he would have signed? He wouldn't have, would he? He would have had his own team in there. And one thing we have to do is look at things in context. You know, we can cry and we can say Amram this, Amram that. And yes, Amram made some mistakes yesterday, but at the end of the day, he's not a bad manager, and neither is Ten Hag, and neither is Van Gaal, and neither is Jose Mourinho. You know what I mean? These are not bad managers. The thing is that he just doesn't have his own team. And that is what happens when you have a new manager. You have a backlog of players from previous managers over the years that haven't been removed, that have been there for the last 11 years. You know what I mean? Some of them 5 years, 6 years. They need to be removed. If Ruben Amram wants to move forward, I'm sorry, we're going to have to be ruthless. And ruthless means players that you don't expect to leave the club. Leave the club. That's what I would say. Yale. Ahmed should go back to being the right wing back instead of number 10. We look more dangerous. To be honest, Yale, you have a good point. Good point. So regarding the Kobe, the problem is Man U supporters, when a youngster breaks through, we gas him up. That's true. He's good, but he's not the main character. But this is the problem lies around me. And this is where we have to balance it out. Because at the end of the day, he's been thrown into the deep end. And people expect too much of him. We need to, with these young players, we need to drift them into the team gradually. You know what I mean? Take them out of the team, bring them into the team. You know what I mean? Gradually bring them into the team. You know what I mean? Not just completely, you know what I mean? Throw them into the team. You're the main man. There you go. And that is a problem that we've been doing over the years recently. And we need to stop that, of course. Do you think we will get some of the Deadwood? I'm not sure about January. There is a possibility that Rashford might go on loan. There's a possibility of that. But at the moment, I'm not hearing anything concrete. The word is that Ineos are not happy, and Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe are not happy with the situation going on. They want to get to the bottom of why Man United keep getting these results. They want to know why. And also, I'm going to stress this to Ruben Amram, and I'm going to say this very clearly, and I hope it reaches Ruben Amram. Ruben, if players are not playing well, right, just because they're Portuguese, okay, doesn't mean you cannot drop them, my friend. I will say that to you, right? I know that they're Portuguese. I know that you're pal. I know they speak, you know what I mean, Portuguese, you know, but if just because they're Portuguese doesn't mean they are undroppable. Let me tell you that. And that is my biggest advice to Ruben Amram. I'm nobody, but I am even seeing it. You got to stop that, mate. Honest to God, because at the end of the day, play players based on form. And I would say that. Play players based on form. And players don't want to perform, to bring in a bloody youngster like Alex Ferguson used to do. You know, and that's what I would do at the end of the day. No favoritism at Man United. Fan. So another concern is I covered years ago, from Ole till today, we cannot offload, we can't defend lineouts. We can't keep possession of our lineouts. We can't attack our lineouts. It's ridiculous. And nothing has changed, fan. Why is that? When we got new set piece coaches, you know what I mean? We're practicing week in, week out. What's going on at Manchester United? You're absolutely spot on, Irfan with the elite ball knowledge, as usual. You know, and the thing is that why is this not changing? And this has been going on for like years now, decades. What's going on at Man United? And this is where it makes me a little bit disillusioned. This is where I get a little bit unconfident, you know, with us coming back. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, are we cursed? I'm like, is there some sort of divine inspiration, intervention coming in here? Is something going on? Are we cursed? Do we need something to go? What happened at Man United? So does something need to change? You know what I mean? And one thing I would say, my goodness, it is getting crazy, isn't it? Absolutely. Even Liverpool line-out coach and employed defensive coach are not a set-piece coach. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're defending set pieces correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Guys, that's me for today. I want to thank Irfan and the family for joining me today in the stream. Thank you very much. Tiny bit earlier, but I need to travel today. I'm going to a place called Al Ain. I'm doing a little work for Al Ain Football Club, guys, so I'm going to be going over there today. I want to say thank you to everyone today. There's no chatterbox today. Chatterbox will be back. Chatterbox will be back on Thursday, guys, I believe. Thursday, but I will be keeping you up to date. But I'm back in the morning for Breaking Dawn. And if anything breaks, I'll try my best to come online and stuff like that, guys. I want to thank everyone in this stream for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Big up, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Big up, big up. Absolutely good to see you. Malacia will be the scapegoat from the fan base. Just 10 years in advance because he's rubbish, mate. Bruno hasn't been good enough. He hasn't. Yeah, Ugarte and Casemiro should have started. Yeah, we've been saying that for months. Me and Elite Ball have been saying that for months. I don't know if Elite Ball is watching, but Elite, tell me about it, mate. Absolutely. Guys, thank you everyone for joining me. Have a fantastic, fantastic evening. Have a nice Christmas if we don't speak. I will be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, guys. Have a great time. And don't forget, the only way is up, guys. We only can believe, isn't it? It's not. It can only get better, isn't it? Keep the red flag flying high. Ruben Amorim, of course, and let's keep going. I mean, look, you know what? He who dares wins. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we need to do this. We need to fight and we need to play for that badge, guys. We really do. Take it easy, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Have a good one. Cheers.